The other day, I made a mistake. Hard to believe. All right, it's not hard to believe. Anyway, I made a mistake. I'm going to show it to you now. This is, or should I say was, honeysuckle. But in a moment of madness and intense gardening, I managed to cut it at the root instead of trimming back a branch. The result is, well, most of it's dead. Now, the good news is that the roots are still fine, so if I get rid of the stuff I've killed, theoretically in a year or so, we'll have something that looks fairly similar to what I've just destroyed. Rachel's not overly happy, but she's been quite gracious. In Colossians Chapter 2 and verse 7, it says this: "Let your roots grow down into him and let your lives be built on him." One of the problems that was happening in the Colossian church was that they didn't have a lot of great teaching, they didn't have a great understanding at that point about who Jesus was, and they were allowing other people to come in and say, oh, Jesus didn't really mean this, Jesus didn't say that, Jesus isn't this and he isn't that. And they weren't really getting mature enough to say, actually, you're wrong, I know who Jesus is and I know who I am. I think there's a lot going on in the Colossian church that will be really identifiable to us today. We're in a society that tells us that Jesus isn't this and isn't that, and that for us to believe what that says in the Bible and about this issue in the Bible is nonsense or naive or something like that. The Colossian church would really be able to identify with some of the modern issues that we have. How can we counter this? What can we do about it? And the answer is the same for us as it is for this church in the city of Colossae. And it's quite a simple one in lots of ways. Be rooted in Christ and build your life on his firm foundation. So one of the things we're going to look at on Sunday is how we can go about making sure we're rooted in Christ. That plant that I've sort of destroyed, in a way, is not destroyed. It's suffered, but it's got good roots and it's in good soil. It will flourish again. And we all know what happens if a building isn't built properly, then it's very vulnerable to something like this. So we need to do what we can to make sure that we are rooted in Christ and built on his firm foundation in our lives. Have a think this week about what that looks like for you, what that looks like at school, in your family, in your social circles, in your social media. What does it look like to be rooted in Christ and built on Christ in all of those different areas that you live your life? We're citizens of heaven. Whatever we do, wherever we go, we're supposed to show that. Have a great week. And hopefully on Sunday, you'll have some fantastic ideas that you can share with the group or share in our online discussions. Have a fantastic week.